Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here, and in today's video I will be reacting to the report that NFL executives predict that the Washington football team will indeed trade for quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. So I'll talk about that, what I think about Jimmy Garoppolo to the Washington football team, how much I would give up to get him, and how much it would take. So if you guys are new, subscribe for Washington and NFL content. Also hit that like button and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. Also, go ahead and follow my Twitter. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers on there. Now, let's get right into the video. So earlier today, Jeremy Fowler, a reporter for ESPN, put out a story, having 10 NFL executives make some predictions for the offseason. He did this story last year, and a lot of the predictions that the NFL executives made ended up coming true. And this year, one of the predictions was that the Washington football team would trade for quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. So let's go ahead and read the quotes from this story. You guys can read the early part, basically saying that it makes sense for the 49ers to trade Jimmy Garoppolo because they did trade up a bunch. They traded a bunch of assets to go up and move for move up to get Trey Lance. So it's likely that they will move on from Garoppolo because they need to see what they have in Trey Lance, and he is their franchise quarterback or potential franchise quarterback. So that's pretty much what the first paragraph is saying. And then the second paragraph, I'll read it word for word. Meanwhile, it's time for Washington to solidify its passing game for the first time in the Ron Rivera era. One NFC scout says Washington's offense can accommodate Garoppolo's skill set. I have some concerns about Garoppolo outside of the Kyle Shanahan offense, but Washington has some in-breaking stuff that would be similar, the executive said. It wouldn't be as much of an issue if you can define throws for him. I don't get the sense a return for Garoppolo would be better or would be that pricey either. Some teams believe you shouldn't have to give up a first-round pick for him because it's known that San Francisco is probably ready to play Lance, thus hurting its leverage. Plus, his $24 million salary on the last year of his deal must be reworked. So that's pretty much it. And they predicted, that's what, they did, made as a prediction. Here are some of the other predictions while I talk about, what this means for Washington and how I feel about it. And what I think, Jimmy Garoppolo, he's an average to a below average quarterback. He's okay. He is not good enough, in my opinion, to win you a Super Bowl unless you have an elite team around him. I mean, the 49ers almost won the Super Bowl a few years ago. They had a lead. So I guess, he is good enough to get you to the Super Bowl and maybe even win you the Super Bowl if a lot of things happen. First, he's healthy. Second, they have good weapons around him. They have a good team because that defense that year was really, really good. They had, DeForest Buckner, Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa. They had, some good linebackers. I think Sherman was on that team, but that was a really good defense, and they had a good offense around him. So that's why I'm saying, he can win you a Super Bowl potentially or get you there, but the conditions have to be almost perfect for that to happen. You look at the stats for Jimmy Garoppolo this year, okay stats, 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, dealing with that finger injury, and then 2020 really didn't play much. Had another injury, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. His really only year starting fully was really good, 27 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, pass rating of 102. He had a really good year that year. That is a above average quarterback play. And then this year is the only other year he's really started. That's the biggest concern for me, is his health. I mean, you look at it from once he started with the San Francisco 49ers here. He had an injury actually that year with the Patriots, or it might have been one of these years. He had an injury with the Patriots and he gets traded to the 49ers. The next year, tears his ACL, and then the year after that, plays fine. Then the year after that, has, I think it was like a knee or something, knee injury, out for the year, and then this year he plays. So there's kind of a pattern there. Every other year he has a major injury. So that's the biggest concern for me. That's why I'm not willing to give up a lot. I mean, they were saying, it probably won't cost the first round pick. I would not even come close to a first round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo, because I feel like you can do, better either in the draft or, like Jameis Winston, like he's similar to the level quarterback that Jimmy Garoppolo is, and he's going to be a free agent. You can get him for free. I mean, you're going to have to pay for him, but you're not going to have to give up assets like draft capital or players to get someone like Jameis Winston. And Jimmy Garoppolo, it looks like they're saying it would be a strong day 2 pick, so that's like a second round pick. I don't know if I'm willing to give up a second round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo. Yes, Jimmy Garoppolo is a big upgrade in my opinion over Taylor Heineke. The stats might not show it's a huge a huge upgrade, but I do think it is. I do think it's a significant upgrade, and Jimmy Garoppolo would get us to, if we're healthy next year, or at least somewhat healthy, and we keep pretty much the same team, I think Jimmy Garoppolo could get us to a wild card game. He could get us 9. He'll get us, Jimmy Garoppolo, if we're healthy again, will get us 8 to 11 wins. Nothing more than that, though, and maybe 1 win in the playoffs. That, in my opinion, you're not striving for that. You're striving, and Washington obviously hasn't won a playoff game since 2005. So winning a playoff game would be amazing. But at the end of the day, the goal is to win a Super Bowl. And Jimmy Garoppolo, unless you have the perfect team around him, is not going to win you that Super Bowl. And, his contract kind of pricey, $24 million. So, I mean, in the article, in the story, they said, they probably would have to restructure that. But also, he's a free agent in 2023. So you're giving up maybe a second round and a fourth round pick or a third round pick for someone who is is going to be expensive, is injury prone, and is a free agent after next year. Age-wise, he's fine, 31 years old, going to be 30. Yeah, he's going to be 31 next season. I'm not sure what he is right now, if he's 30 or 31. So age-wise, not an issue, but my biggest issue is the injury for him, because he's always injured. And I much rather, just if we're going to have to give up like a second round pick for him, I'd rather just draft a quarterback. And even if we do trade for Jimmy G, I would still draft a quarterback, because, again, I don't think Jimmy G is good enough to get you to the promised land, to get you to a Super Bowl. And we don't have the roster yet to, be able to make the Super Bowl or even the second round of the playoffs with Jimmy G. And John Keim kind of said, someone says, do you think we would make a run for him, talking about Jimmy G? And Keim says, definite possibility, yes. Top choice? Don't know, but any list has to include him as a possibility. Otherwise, it's not an accurate list. So there's definitely some merit to these predictions made by the NFL executives. And again, second round pick is just too rich for me. It just is, when you can go ahead, get someone that might not be on the same level, but Jameis Winston is a solid quarterback, and he was, the Saints were able to win with him early on in the season, even with all the injuries they had. He's an upgrade over Heineke, and what you could do, draft a quarterback in the first or second round and sign someone like Jameis Winston, and you have that guy, Heineke, and the first round pick in your quarterback room. I love that idea, but what I don't like is signing someone like Jimmy G and not drafting someone early, because then, Jimmy G is better than we had this year. No doubt about that. But he's not a franchise quarterback, in my opinion. He's with a, offensive guru in Kyle Shanahan, and he's still not putting up, eye-popping numbers. So those are just my thoughts on Jimmy G. Real quick, let's look at some of these other, predictions, because some of them do affect Washington. So the Eagles will shop around for a new quarterback. The Falcons will likely, or this prediction is the Falcons will trade Calvin Ridley to a contender. And then the other prediction is Russell Wilson will wear a new jersey in 2022. So again, that could be, a trade that Washington could make. These are just predictions. Again, not saying that they will happen, but Washington, if I'm Washington, I would give up a ton for Russell Wilson, because, he's 33, but that doesn't matter. There's so many quarterbacks playing into their late 30s, and some that are even playing in their early 40s. So I would definitely go in for Russ, Deshaun Watson, if everything's cleared with him, and even Derek Carr as well. So that is going to be it for today's video. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about this trade? I mean, would you do it? How much are you willing to give up? I would do it, but not for the price that it's likely going to take. I would not give up a second-round pick for Jimmy G, really, unless we can restructure that deal and extend him for another year. So I would probably give up like a third-round pick, and that's even rich because they do not have leverage. The 49ers do not have leverage in this trade because they're going to have to start Trey Lance this year, at the very latest the next year, and because they're going to lose years on his rookie deal. And also Jimmy G is a free agent after this year, so it's not like they can keep him for much longer and wait for future years to trade him. So those are my reasons right there. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. Peace, guys.